isn't enough. Good for you shopping at the co-op. You're a better person than I am because I can't afford it, right? But if you really want things to change permanently, you can't filter the air in the tire. You have to change the tire. And that's why we're talking about changing these systems, going from market production to network production, going from private ownership to citizen ownership. So now, right, when decisions are made, we all get a say. And the things that are good for us will get enacted by these corporate accountability boards.
Let's use the Starbucks example again. I know that that actually stock is plummeting and business is going down like absolutely crazy. So Starbucks is actually downsizing huge amounts. They're trying to get back to their roots and sort of have the original thing back. So I mean, even if companies do go in this upward trend of being bad,
evil.
You know, I feel like they're still going to be forced to sort of go back to what people actually liked about them in the first place.
What Starbucks really did wrong is they opened too many shops.
Yeah.
Just like people built too many houses. They over-projected growth. And that was why. They're not really downsizing. It's what's called a market correction. That they should have been here and they went up here. And now they got to bring themselves back down to here. And they can, bring it back and bring it back to the roots. But the bottom line, they're going to buy child labor coffee. They're going to exploit their workers. And they're going to take a huge chunk of profit out of the money that you pay for your coffee to send to a bunch of shareholders who have nothing to do with anything, who get money just for having a piece of paper. And those shareholders are the ones who are making the decisions, not you. And sometimes the shareholders will make a decision that's good for you. Most of the times they don't. Most of the time it's palm oil and child labor chocolate. Because that's cheap and it's profitable. So, this is the second piece. If we have network production, we have an ability to match demand with actual production. We can actually produce the things we need. If we have citizen ownership, we have an ability to actually make sure businesses do what's good for us, not what's good for their shareholders. Well, now we are their shareholders, so problem solved. But the final step is that guaranteed income. And this is really key because people need to be out of poverty before they can make free decisions, free of the fear of homelessness or going hungry or what have you. And I love Milton Friedman. Anyone know who Milton Friedman is? Richard Nixon. Who likes Richard Nixon? I love them. They're awesome. Right? Because it was Uncle Milty and Tricky Dick who came up with something called the negative income tax. And so this was Uncle Milty, and he said, well, the two of them, now they're not evil. All right, they're not. They're not Captain Planet villains. They do not sit in dark rooms and go, I'm going to start the children. They're not good guys, but they're not evil. They're not trying to find ways to barbecue kittens. Right? Milton Friedman said, the welfare state isn't working. I don't want to leave people starving. I do want to feed people. But there's got to be a better way. And so he came up with something called the negative income tax. The negative income tax is actually very simple. You set a guaranteed income level, let's just say $10,000, because it's a nice even number. That this is how much money you need to survive in terms of food, clothing, housing, healthcare, education. If you earn less than that, you file taxes. I filed taxes for $5,000 this year. I get a check from the government for $5,000 to bring me up to that guaranteed income. Yeah.
What about like the free rider problem in that if someone's making like $9,000, then they'll just get bumped up 1,000. Why wouldn't they just quit their job completely? Then they'll get bumped up to 10.
2 slides. And so, no, it's free rider problem, huge problem, already been solved. Right? This is a capitalist, Republican, far right-wing, pro-war position. Disband the welfare state, take all the money we spend on Social Security and welfare, and just give it to people. And it actually makes sense because when you pay for Social Security, you're not just paying for the benefits paid out to beneficiaries, you're paying for the bureaucracy to administer it. And what did we say? It was about $500 billion between Social Security and Medicare. About $500 billion spent annually on Social Security and Medicare.